Get ready. It's time for In the Know with Brian Glenn.
First of all, very few people listen to your radio show. That's the good news.
All right, welcome back. 4-4 on this Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for hanging in with us. Lots going on in the world today. I started the 3 o'clock hour confessing that I've just been mentally drained with so much in the news. I mean, this last 45 days with hurricanes, earthquakes, domestic terrorism is enough to weigh you down mentally. And I was the first one to say today we woke up and it was drizzly and cloudy and gray, and Tom Petty I was playing him on my phone, and I thought, I just want to stay in bed. But sun shines out. It's a new day. It's time to move forward. I'm having a great conversation. Sherrill and Steve Lester of QMF in the studio, which, by the way, and I will make sure I read this right, and I wrote this down. You are the 2017 SBA Prime Contractor of the Year.
National.
That's a big deal.
National Prime Contractor of the Year.
That's it. National, which means out of the thousands of people that contract to do what you do, you're the top.
That's right. This was a federal government contracting award. So if you do work with a federal agency, in this case, it was our work with the Department of Justice that why we won the award. And it could be for any agency. It's not specific to that, but it is a federal contract.
Now, this is pretty cool because we were having a conversation about what the amount of money that's going to be opened up to people that want to do in construction in the state of Texas. And you've got something coming up that can help people out. Look, there's a lot of jobs that will be created in this industry, and you've got a good way to connect them. Absolutely.
So what we've done is a group of us have come together, and it's called BootCamp4Biz. And what it does is it takes – you like that? What it does is it takes the state agencies and it meets them with the federal government resources. So if you're a small business and let's say you want to do work on a TxDOT highway project, because I'm telling you there's so much work coming down the pike. There's wealth generation for the next 8 to 10 years.
Cheryl, I've got a lawnmower. I can cut the grass.
This is exactly –
Does that qualify
This
for
is
it?
the perfect example. So let's say you've been cutting grass in Hunt County. Okay. And you want to move to Franklin County, Hopkins County, and maybe you want to creep into Rockwall County. Okay. Well, you don't really know how to do that because you have a few lawnmowers, but maybe you need 10 lawnmowers. So you need to go to your bank and get a line of credit. But you've been running all of your finances through QuickBooks. And so you give him the report out of QuickBooks, and he says, oh, well, I'd like to help you, but you don't really know what you're doing here. So it would take someone like you, Brian. You need to go to someone who can show you how to do those financial reports correctly so that you can get a line of credit, so that you can buy, or get an equipment loan. Maybe you need to get an equipment loan for 10 more mowers. And then you need to hire more people. Because when you do work for a state agency like TxDOT, you need to show up on time, you need to have insurance, you need to have maybe mobilization money to get started. There are all kinds of requirements, okay, to do work with a state agency. So what we've done is TxDOT will train you how to do great business with TxDOT, all the technical requirements. In the meantime, the SBA and the SBDC will give you the financial training that you need so that you can be a great business owner, okay?
How's Linda McMahon done in her job? She's a friend of the show, you know.
Fantastic.
She donated to my Ugandan trip coming up.
She did.
Her and Debbie Saviano both.
That's Supply. Fantastic.
Great one. But she's done a fantastic job, right?
She has. She came to my plant for a plant tour.
Right. She did.
She did. Yes. Steve and I were so proud to have a cabinet member.
You want to put her in a headlock? Or was the wrestling side of it?
No, I don't want to get in a headlock by her either. Let me tell you, she is a sweetheart. She is the very gracious lady. She is that indeed.
Very smart. I just love what she's done with WWE. So.
And let me say, the reason that we won the award is Sherrill. Because a bunch of men will get something built, but it's not going to go out the door right. It's not going to be built right. Nothing's going to happen right without a woman sitting there going, no, you can't do it that way. That's not how any of this works.
That is true. As men, we're all listening going, that's about right.
But think about that. Linda McMahon, she took nothing and made an incredible business out of what was just happening in their backyard. Her stories are really, really
and how
awesome.
How they signed their first television deal was almost a spoof too, because they signed a big deal with TBS That's all. It's a great story.
It is a great story. So it's in her heart and it's in her gut.
Yes.
Business is in her gut, and you can see that when you meet her and when you talk to her. And, she's out there. She is the first administrator. I was told by someone in the SBA, she's the first administrator that's actually visited every one of the SBA district offices ever. Nice. In history. That means that she's trying to figure out what the districts are doing, what the districts need, what kind of businesses are in those districts, and what they're doing. It's amazing. She's tweeting all the time, and
yes, she is.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. So this boot camp's coming up when?
So it's not a one-time event.
Oh.
It's actually something that can go on forever.
Oh, it's even better.
It is better, right. So unfortunately, the website's not up yet, but everybody's ready to go. So if you're a small business and you want to be involved in doing work with TxDOT, we're going to start with TxDOT first. This will move into commercial construction and other government agencies and things like that. But if you want to do more work with TxDOT or learn how to do work with TxDOT, you can contact your SBDC, Small Business Development Center, and I would suggest you call Skip Masters. He's one of our team members. He knows all about the program, and he will do a mini assessment, kind of figure out where you are in your business maturity. Okay, are you a guy with a mower? Or are you a guy with 10 mowers?
Yeah,
right. I mean, that's very different. And do you want to just do work in Hunt County, or do you want to go across the state? A very different business plan, right? So he's going to do a mini assessment and try to figure out how to get you into the next step. Do you take an emerging leaders class? Do you take a Goldman Sachs 10,000 small business class?
Good question.
Do you do some one-on-one training with someone? Just maybe So here's. I bet you don't know this, Brian, but there's something called Community Reinvestment Act. The banks that have X amount of revenue are required by law to funnel money into small business in order to make them more successful. I have asked a bank for a lot of money to help us with this program, a lot of money.
Staggering, isn't it?
It's staggering. So they go into low-income areas, and that could just about be anywhere nowadays. I mean, the threshold is, I don't know if you want to set the bar low or high, however you want to look at that, but basically anyone qualifies for Community Reinvestment Act money. So they're already doing it. They're volunteering. A lot of banks are volunteering a lot of time talking to classrooms full of people, or anytime there's a chamber event, or if there's an outreach event for small business, they might show up and have a booth.
Got an idea. I'm going to talk to you off there. I got an idea. Bess, you're coming back on next Monday, because we've got in the break, we start to talk about subjects and topics, and it just kind of comes out, and I'm like, I can't wait for you to come back, but you've got some more stuff that you want to say today.
Okay, so before we go today, there is an event in Fort Worth. It's called the Fort Worth Paved event. Paved. Projects adding value by expanding diversity.
Of course it says.
Of course it is, yes.
It's a meaning behind the paved.
So it's a TxDOT event. If you want to learn more about doing work with TxDOT, it is on October 13th, this Friday, and it's in Fort Worth, 2501. I hope you're writing this down, or record me.
We'll put it up on our Facebook page.
Fantastic. 2501 Southwest Loop 820. It's from 8 a.m. till noon. The phone number for TxDOT for this event, 512-416-4700.
Okay, I'll take a picture of that so I can put it up on my Facebook page. And that'll ask questions for what? For just what's paved?
So one of the things that they're going to do is they're going to show you and list all of the opportunities that are coming up. Because you asked me earlier, how do you find out about all these projects? Right? Well, because I'm DBE, they come to my email, or I know where to go look for them because I'm trained on how to do that. That's something that we will do in the BootCamp4Biz, show you how to become successful in the DBE world, right?
So business is good right now.
Business is fantastic, and for 8 years or to 10 years, it's going to be booming.
That's what I'm saying. For your book, I wouldn't say book, but you're scheduled out for 10 years.
We have a 2-year backlog ourselves. I have some stats. They're the top 5 GCs. I'm going to name them, and they're probably not going to like me for this. Williams Brothers, Weber, James Construction, OHL, and The Lane Construction. It's amazing what they have on their backlog. It's somewhere around $17 billion they have in backlog right now.
Business is good.
That's a lot of money, $17 billion.
You know what's
go get a piece of that.
Yeah, I'll take a little piece of that. And all the stuff we're talking about has just been Texas. I mean, you can imagine if you just went into Oklahoma.
I know.
And said, okay, what can we do there?
And you can be. I'm DBE in multiple states because I do work with someone that wants me to be DBE in those states. So there's no limit to what you can do. And it's not, you don't have to be a metal fabricator. You can be anything. Like I said, there's asphalt, trucking, material supply, painting, pavement markers, traffic control, utilities.
Pavement markers. Maybe that's what I need to do. I'd be the guy that just glues them on the floor, on the concrete.
Earthwork, guardrail repair. I mean, just today we saw a huge accident. So that's the kind of gift that keeps on giving. You go down the highway, you put the guardrail in, a month later you got to come take it, take it away and put
we got about a minute left. The most artistic thing you guys have ever designed and installed.
You can't see it. That's the drawback.
That's
some of our prettiest stuff is you got to be in a particular building or it's in a neighborhood. We actually did a couple of expensive neighborhood areas that we went in and made pergolas and whatnot, and they're fantastic. Everybody go look. It's in South Lake.
Yeah. Well, I love the area out there. Thank you so much for coming. I can't wait to come back next Monday.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.